Welcome to South News. This afternoon I have the pleasure to have Raylman, Executive Director of Gift of Life International, a non-for-profit organization that's providing much-needed health resources to developing countries. Mr. Raylman, good afternoon and welcome to South News.
Thank you for having me here.
So let's talk about Gift of Life International. What is this non-for-profit organization doing for developing countries?
Well, Gift of Life International has been around since 1975. And our main focus is to provide health care for children who suffer from congenital heart defects from developing countries. So we have taken care of over 15,000 children from 67 different countries. And most of those children, if not all of those children, had a life-threatening heart disease that needed correction and could not be corrected in their country.
Now, Rob, talk to me about very specific, in which countries is Gift of Life International operating? There
are 67 countries. We are based on the network of Rotary. So all of our programs are based on a Rotary club or district in a specific country. Some of the countries that we have some very significant focus in are Uganda, El Salvador, Jamaica, Haiti, Honduras, Russia, China, the Ukraine, and it goes on and on.
Now, some of the help that you've shared that Gift of Life International is providing to these countries is capacity building. Talk to me about that specifically.
Well, that's right. When we began our program back in 1975, it started with just bringing one child from Uganda to the U.S. And for many years, that was the Gift of Life program. We bring a child from a developing country here to the U.S. for their surgery. But as we've evolved, we've realized that we really need to be able to help more children. And in order to help more children, it is exactly as you speak to it, developing capacity within the countries to take care of their own. So we put together what we call the Our Hearts Are In program. And we picked specific countries based on specific criteria so that we could go in there and make a difference in the country, empower the doctors and nurses, engage the governments and the hospitals to be able to develop a sustainable pediatric cardiac surgery program in country.
And what are some of the requirements? How do you select a country that Gift of Life International will be working with? And what are the prerequisites, if you will?
Well, as you can imagine, there's need all over this world. But in order to focus our attention and to be able to really make a difference, we've put together 4 significant criteria. First criteria is we need a government that is willing and able to assist us in our efforts. We need a hospital administration that is willing to engage themselves and to be involved in the program that we develop. Number 3, there must be a pediatric cardiac team in place that can be trained and empowered. And then finally, we want to have an on-the-ground, non-governmental organization that can basically become the basis and the foundation for the future development of the sustainable program. So those are the 4 that we use, and that's what we applied to our criteria in picking Uganda, El Salvador, and then finally Jamaica.
One of your success case studies is El Salvador. Talk to me about what is it that Gift of Life International is doing on the ground in El Salvador.
Well, as you say, El Salvador has become a tremendous success. And it really does show that when you look and you focus and you strategically plan to develop a program, you can be successful. There is great potential in El Salvador. There was a government that was very concerned with their children's health. There was a hospital that was supportive of the program but never had the proper resources nor the ability to bring the training to the entire team that was necessary. There was a team in place that wanted to do the surgeries, was willing to do the surgeries, but again did not have the proper resources to do them. And then there were non-governmental organizations in El Salvador. But what we did was we brought the resources of Gift of Life around the world to bear on El Salvador to focus in and really strategically develop a program there.
How long have you been in El Salvador?
So Gift of Life has been in El Salvador since 1988, but we began the Our Hearts Are In El Salvador program in 2009. And in 2010, the way that we brought awareness to the needs was we sent 117 Salvadoran children to 25 different countries that Gift of Life have programs in, to 13 hospitals. And the children were cared for in those hospitals, and they came back to El Salvador as ambassadors for the needs of their country. Now what that did was it motivated people outside of El Salvador to help. It motivated people within El Salvador to realize they could trust the Gift of Life, that we were very sincere in our efforts to bring the attention that was needed to develop a sustainable Salvadoran program. And so by bringing those children outside of El Salvador, we then brought the attention into El Salvador to develop the program. And in 2010, we held a conference, international conference, over 100 people attended. Dr. Aldo Castaneda, who's a world-renowned pediatric cardiac surgeon, perhaps the pioneer of pediatric cardiac surgery, chaired our 3-day conference. And we put together a 5-year plan that ultimately would end with the development and the creation of a sustainable pediatric cardiac surgery program for the children of El Salvador.
Now, beyond performing these surgeries, one of the key elements that you talked about is within capacity building of the medical staff, but outside of that is really working with the Salvadorians. How do you do that?
Well, the realization was the only reason we were doing this is because we wanted to develop the capacity within the Salvadoran community. Again, have the doctors and the surgeons be able to take care of the children, have the nurses be able to recover the children, and then also have them to be supported by the Salvadoran community. And in being a Salvadoran community, what we would mean is the government, the corporations, the foundations within the country. The Rotary clubs of El Salvador have been huge in supporting our efforts. We have taken care of close to 400 children in the last 3 years in El Salvador. So every child has been taken care of by a Salvadoran and has been sponsored in country by Salvadorans. The government has been very active in stepping up and being able to support the program as best they can. And then we've supplemented that through contributions from Salvadoran businesses and Salvadoran foundations and Salvadoran Rotary clubs. So in terms of sustainability, the goal really is to have Salvadorans support Salvadorans to care for Salvadorans. Last year, 159 Salvadoran children were operated on at Hospital Bloom. It was supported by the government, it was supported by the hospital administration, it was supported by Salvadoran businesses, Salvadoran foundations. We, of course, brought training teams in from other countries to provide the training, but really this has become a great Salvadoran story.
And Rob, how do you work with other hospitals? I'm assuming there are partnerships that are part of Gift of Life International worldwide?
Right, exactly. Over the past 35 plus years, we've developed relationships with over 80 hospitals around the world, some of the finest that there are. So in each of our countries, and as I mentioned before, we're in Uganda, and we've done over 250 children through our Hearts Are in Uganda program. We're in Jamaica, where we're developing a similar program that we're developing in El Salvador, where last year we did 109 children. And in each of those countries, we have world-class hospital teams that will come in, surgical teams that will come in and do the training. For example, in El Salvador, we have a team from the University of Michigan, one of the top 3 programs in the United States, that comes in and spends a week there training and operating on children. But every operation has Salvadorans doing the operations, nurses doing the recovery, but ultimately the goal is to have them transfer the skills so they can do it regularly. So we have partners that we've worked years to develop these relationships with that now have invested with us in country to take care of the training aspects.
Now, certainly sharing this success story, I think it's certainly worthwhile to mention that Gift of Life International this coming weekend has, it's going to be celebrating in honoring some very interesting, not to say the least, for their support, I guess, in some way of how they've worked together with Gift of Life International. Talk to us about that event.
Right, and this is a very special event. This weekend, NECO, the National Ethnic Coalition of Organizations, holds their yearly award ceremony where they give out the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. And we're very proud that the First Lady of El Salvador will be receiving the Humanitarian Award this year. She'll be speaking at the gala. And why it's very important to us is that the First Lady has been a leader in El Salvador for the empowerment of women especially, for the growth of families. She has given voice to these women who are a very, very strong part of the community. And I can tell you from the experiences of our program and working with the children that have heart disease, the majority of the reason that these children get help is because of their moms. These mothers spend hours on buses, walking through fields, getting their children to the heart center for years. And finally they have hope. And through this program, they have gotten hope. Through the Hearts Are in El Salvador program, again, children are getting operated at Hospital Bloom. But the First Lady, what she has done really is she has empowered women within the country. She has given the families the strength that they need to move forward and be able to take care of the children. which are the future. And if you've ever seen the First Lady with children, it's clear that she understands how important it is to take care of the youth. So the fact that we are providing this care to the children of El Salvador is also providing it to the community of El Salvador, because now there's hope in a field that there was never hope before. And there's voice to those people that have for so many years felt despair. So what the First Lady has done is really just opened up this amazing opportunity for the families to become leaders within the country of El Salvador, and for us to play our small part in bringing the capacity of the HEART program to a point where it is helping hundreds of children, but thousands of families and family members be able to really feel the freedom of knowing we have a bright future for our children. And she really has been an inspiration to us from the day we entered. She has shown the respect for the other ministers of the country to allow them to move forward with the policies that we need to be able to do our program. But we've always known that the fact that we had a person there that was so dedicated to the families and the women of El Salvador was very inspirational and encouraging to us.
Certainly, I think Gift of Life International is inspirational just by the work that it's doing in many of these developing countries. Within the Millennium Development Goals, as you were very much aware, maternal health in children, it's really a focal point of the UN Millennium Development Goals. And so congratulations to you for the event that's coming up. Mr. Raylman, thank you very much for joining us at South South News this afternoon and sharing all these great news that you're bringing to developing countries.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you. And if you want to learn more about Gift of Life International, please go into southsouthnews.com for more information. Thank you, and until next time.